America's founding fathers searched for 180 years to find the right formula for freedom, prosperity, and peace. And they found it. The National Center for Constitutional Studies, or NCCS, as we'll call it for short, was organized many years ago by Dr. W. Cleon Skousen. Do you know that our founding fathers had answers to nearly every problem that exists in America today? What is today's political spectrum? Communism on the left, fascism on the right. If that's the spectrum that we have today, what's in the middle? Moderate. So, you know, you're not really extreme on anything, you're just kind of going with the flow here. I don't know about you, but this kind of a spectrum is really confusing. You don't know where you are. The founders had a much better way to measure government. We're going to talk about the founding fathers' political spectrum. To me, it makes a whole lot more sense. They said, if you want to measure government, then you measure government the way you measure anything else. Let's say you have a yardstick, and on one end of the yardstick is 100% of whatever you're measuring. 100%. What is 100% government? That's tyranny. That's a tyrant. 100%. There's a law for everything, and the tyrant makes the law. On the other end of the spectrum, or the other end of the yardstick, is zero. Zero government, zero law. What would that be? That's anarchy. And the founders said, between those two ends, you can put every form of government that's ever existed in the earth, depending on the kind of control and the amount of control that the government exercises over the people. What do you think? That's a great way of studying government. Where is it on the political spectrum? The correct political spectrum between anarchy and tyranny. You can put everything between 0 and 100%. 100% law, sometimes that's called Roman civil law. There's a law for everything. We've given it a little more descriptive term. We call it ruler's law. Who makes the law under ruler's law? That's right, the ruler. 0% is no law. So between ruler's law and no law, where are we going to be? See, this was the challenge of the founders. They said, where we want is just enough law to protect the people and not too much to oppress the people. A position on the political spectrum that would be balanced between too little and too much. That would be a position in government where the people themselves would consent to that position. Hence, we call it people's law. Where we have just enough government to protect the people in their rights, but not too much to oppress them. And once we find that position, Jefferson called it the middle point. We like to call it the balance center, because it's balanced between too little and too much. And once they found that point, they said, what we need to do is nail it down. We're going to put chains around it. Jefferson called it chains of the Constitution. And we're going to put checks and balances. We're going to do everything we can do to hold that in the balance center so that it won't move. And that's what they did in the Constitution. Brilliant, isn't it? Washington says, there is a natural and necessary progression. Now that doesn't mean it has to be. That means as you study history, that's what you see. From the extreme of anarchy to the extreme of tyranny. Is there any question in your minds that this is the founder spectrum, anarchy, tyranny?